I came home at lunch and found my fiance in the bathtub with my sister. I locked the door and called her husband. I came home at lunch and my fiance was in the bathtub with my sister. I locked the bathroom door from the outside and called her husband. I said, "Come now, there's something you need to see." And when he saw it, everything fell apart. My fiance Brett and I had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. We were getting married in October. The venue was booked, the invitations were printed. My dress was hanging in the spare bedroom closet in a garment bag I zipped up every time I walked past it because I didn't want him to see it. My sister Leah has been married to her husband Travis for 3 years. They have a 2-year-old son. I always thought Leah and Travis were solid. They looked happy. They held hands at dinner tables and tagged each other in posts. They were the couple everyone pointed to and said, "That's what it's supposed to look like." I found out what it actually looked like on a Tuesday. I work as a dental hygienist. I usually don't go home for lunch, but that day my afternoon patient canceled and I had a 2-hour gap. I drove home thinking I'd eat leftovers and lie on the couch for an hour. Brett's truck was in the driveway. He works in sales and sometimes comes home between appointments. I didn't think anything of it. I walked in through the front door. The house was quiet. No TV, no music. I walked toward the kitchen and heard water running. The bathroom door was open about 2 inches. I pushed it open. Brett was in the bathtub. Leah was in the bathtub with him. They were facing each other, her back against the faucet, his knees bent up against the sides. Candles were lit on the counter. Her clothes were folded on the toilet lid like she'd planned to stay a while. They didn't see me at first. Leah was laughing at something he said. Then she looked up. Her face went white. Brett turned around. He said my name like a question, like he wasn't sure it was me, like I was the one who wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't say anything. I stepped back, grabbed the bathroom door handle and pulled it shut. Our bathroom door has one of those old locks that can be turned from the outside with a coin or a flathead. I grabbed a quarter from the junk drawer in the hallway and locked them in. I heard Brett yell. Then I heard Leah scream. They started banging on the door. I walked to the kitchen and called Travis. He picked up on the third ring. I said, "Come to my house right now." He said, "Why? What's wrong?" I said, "There's something you need to see." He said, "You sound weird. Are you okay?" I said, "Just come, please." He said he'd be there in 15 minutes. Brett was pounding on the door. He was yelling my name over and over. Leah was crying, saying, "Open the door. Please, let me explain." I sat at the kitchen table and waited. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I felt hollow, like someone had scooped everything out of me and left just the shell sitting upright in a chair. Travis knocked on the front door 14 minutes later. I opened it. He looked at my face. What happened? I walked him down the hallway. The pounding had stopped. It was quiet behind the door. I unlocked it and stepped aside. Travis pushed the door open. Brett was sitting in the empty tub in a towel. Leah was sitting on the edge of the tub in Brett's t-shirt. Candles were still lit. Travis stood in the doorway for a long time. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He just looked at his wife and said one word. "Why?" Leah started sobbing. She said it was a mistake. She said it only happened twice. Twice. Like twice was a small number. Like twice was close enough to 0 that it shouldn't count. Travis looked at Brett. Brett said nothing. Travis turned and walked out of the bathroom. He walked past me. He walked out the front door. I heard his truck start and pull away. Leah came running out of the bathroom barefoot, still in Brett's shirt, and went after him. She was screaming his name in the driveway. He didn't stop. Brett came out next. He stood in the hallway dripping wet with a towel around his waist and said, "Can we talk about this?" I pulled my engagement ring off and set it on the counter. "You can have this back." He said, "It didn't mean anything." I said, "Then why did you light candles?" He opened his mouth and nothing came out. I went to the spare bedroom, took my wedding dress out of the closet, and put it in my car. I packed a bag and drove to my best friend's apartment. I canceled the venue the next day. I called every vendor and explained. Most of them refunded me. The florist sent me a note that said, "I'm sorry. I hope you're okay." That made me cry harder than anything Brett said. Travis filed for divorce. Leah lost custody temporarily while they worked out arrangements. She called me 11 times in the first week. I answered once. She said, "I'm so sorry. I love you. You're my sister." I said, "You were in my bathtub with my fiance. You folded your clothes on my toilet. You lit candles in my house. Don't call me your sister." She hasn't called since. Brett moved out. He left his key on the kitchen table with a note that said, "I'm sorry for everything." I threw the note away and changed the locks. My mom asked me last week if I could ever forgive Leah. I said, "I'll think about it when the candle wax is off my counter." She didn't ask again.